In the previous video, I talked a little bit about different pieces that were in Homer Laughlin toiletware sets. For this video, I want to focus on one in particular, and that's the Combinets. And I have two examples on the table. This one is the Victor shape, and this one's Monterey. Now, a Combinet is a combination of a slop pail with a chamber pot. And it was supposed to make life so much easier for housewives and chambermaids. So we'll first look at the patent drawing, or a copy of the patent drawing, number 247181. And this is dated September 20th, 1881, and it shows the first Combinet that was made at Homer Laughlin. And this is the Victor shape with the original finial, the closed crown-like finial. And it highlights the little eye bolts that are on either side that hold this, this wire bail. And you can see it on this version. We have the eye bolts here. Not all Combinets have this. The Lennox one does. The Nanita might as well. I'm not sure. I've never seen a Nanita shape Combinet. I've only seen it in listings. But the later versions have this type of bail where it's detachable. So it's made of a spring steel. Now the inventors are listed as Joel A.H. Ellis and Homer Laughlin. So Joel Ellis was born in Vermont in 1830, and he was sort of a jack of all trades and tinkerer of sorts. He had over 13 patents by the time he died, I believe. He made his way to Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania in 1879 with the intent to sell pottery and crockery. And he meets Homer Laughlin, and they come up with the Combinet. And eventually he moves to Trenton, New Jersey in the 1880s, and then he died in 1888. So he had a rather short life, but he is partially responsible for the Laughlin Combinets. And this is a pretty special piece if you can find one of these early ones, whether they be Lennox or Victor or Nanita, in that you can have a piece that was not only made at Homer Laughlin, but invented by Homer Laughlin himself. Now the later ones probably weren't. Like I cannot verify that with this one, which is the Monterey shape. So let's look at, let's see, a couple advertisements. Because this was promoted to make life so much simpler by combining the two pieces from a chamber set. And this is one of the earliest advertisements showing it. It's from Crockery and Glass Journal, a trade publication, from January 5th, 1882. And then here we see the Victor Combinet with its closed finial. The finial I have is an open finial. That's the second style. And this has the little eye bolts on it, of course. And it says, if we can make this out, the Combinet is a slop jar from which the contents are not emptied until carried away. It is a high chamber, more convenient and easy to use than the ordinary low one. It is a chamber pail which does not rust out, look shabby, or retain offensive odors. It costs much less and is It costs much less and is easier cared for than the three articles it displaces. Those three articles being the slop pail, the slop jar, and the chamber pot. And then we have a couple boilerplate letters that were sent out promoting it. Combinets are made in white opaque china and decorate beautifully. They may be had at either plain or in large variety of decorated patterns. This one has the moss rose, which we see quite a bit on the Victor shape. Here it says, it is made of beautiful semi-porcelain, closely resembling the finest china, and in all places where a handled pail or 6-quart vessel is used, it is superior to wood, tin, stoneware, or iron. This comes from newspapers.com. It's the earliest newspaper advertisement I could find on it. It's kind of hard to make out. It's from November 27th, 1882. And it says, the toilet Combinet is a toilet slop jar that can be carried away and emptied instead of pouring the contents into a chamber pail without danger of spilling, or with danger of spilling. Is a chamber pail that does not rust out or retain unpleasant odors and always looks bright and clean. Then once we get to about 1890, we see the Lennox version. And this, if you can make it out, has the little eye bolts on the side. and this was $1.25. Here we see the Lenox version again. This comes from 1890. And this one comes from 1891. Again, the Lenox version. This is a nicer picture where you can see the eye bolts holding on to the wire handle. These Combinets, the use of which for toilet purposes has been extensively advertised in the leading magazines that we sell undecorated for $1.75. So we'll look at some of the magazine articles, or magazine advertisements, I should say. I've got several of them here. Come from ladies' magazines or home magazines. This one comes from 1891, showing the Laughlin Combinets. Again, this is the Lenox shape. The Combinets made in opaque porcelain is an ornament and can be in plain white or in a variety of elegant decorations. Avoid poor imitations. We're going to see some of those imitations in a moment, because after the Combinets becomes a success, a lot of other potteries start adding them to their toiletware lines. And this is let's see, this one says, to the Queen's taste, the good housekeepers are the queens of America. A queen should have beauty, health, and dignity. These are hard to keep with the 16 hours daily drudgery. So again, the Combinet is making life easier for housewives. And chambermaids. They also mention chambermaids in some of these advertisements. This lady, she's actually getting a little bit of sleep because of her 16 hours of drudgery. And to find some cool and quiet nook and dream from 2 until 3 is a luxury that few can indulge. But if you have the Lenox Combinet, then you can get an hour's worth of sleep, and the little cherubs can fly away with it. Again, more advertising, promoting the Combinets, and talking about imitators. This comes from July 1891. Has a bunch of women admiring the floating Combinets here. And this one talks a little bit about how the Combinets replaces articles from a chamber set. And we have a basic assortment of Lenox-shaped chamber set here on this counter, and the Lenox Combinets below, so you don't see the chamber pot or the slop pail. And it says, 2 of the prominent articles of the old standard 12 pieces are conspicuous by their absence, because it's replaced by the Combinets. And here's some enthusiastic women dancing around the Combinets. Again, their lives have been made so much easier. We see another advertisement with the Lenox chamber set and the Combinets taking the place of several other pieces. And again, more Lenox Combinets. This is from 1890. Fall in line, advance with the times, but don't forget the housekeeper. So we'll look at a couple of imitations, or I shouldn't say imitations, competitors. One more advertisement. This comes from 1891. Has our Lenox Combinets in the 4 corners. But I wanted to take this, because I thought this was a rather interesting little drawing, and I scanned it and blew it up. And it says, some were wise and some were foolish. So we have our wise women on this side, all dressed up with their Laughlin Combinets, just strolling along. And the foolish women off to the right, this one's very forlorn because she has this big old cumbersome slop pail. This one, her handle's broken and the contents are spilling out. And this one's having a hard time picking it up by the lug handles. So their lives are so much easier, and theirs are so much more difficult because they don't have the Laughlin Combinet. And it says, the first Combinets ever made was Laughlin. The name was coined for it. The value of the idea has been acknowledged by many imitations, but all lack those important essential features of the Laughlin protected by patent rights. So, very quickly we'll go over some of the other ones made by other potteries. Montecito, there's the Combinets that was made by the Edwin M. Knowles China Company. Another Knowles, this is the Franklin Combinet. Again, you see the wire bail handle. This is Wellsville, China. So we've got the Pioneer, the Olive, and a plain Combinets, all of which have these little bail handles. And it's the detachable version. Again, I'll show that on the Monterey, where it's just a spring steel which comes out. as opposed to the nice, the more permanent eye bolts. This one's C.C. Thompson, another fancy embossed shape with a wire handle. This is Taylor Smith & Taylor, and we have a Combinets. It might be hard to see in this because it's a photocopy. But this is the Pittsburgh shape. And this one is Knowles Taylor Knowles. It shows the California shape Combinets. Worn by Knowles Taylor Knowles. We have York and Missouri. And this is Harker, Menlo Combinets. Again with our little bale handle. Smith & Phillips, which was out of East Liverpool. It doesn't say it, but this is the Phoenix shape, which is a line of toiletware that they carried. And finally, Vaudry. So this comes around 1913 or so, and it just says fancy shape Combinets. So again, after Homer Laughlin had some success with this piece, every other pottery started making them. But Homer Laughlin was the first. Again, there's Victor and Monterey. So the known shapes are Victor, Lenox, Monterey, Bridal, Duchess, and Anita. I've never seen an Anita one. I'd love to find one. Couple things before wrapping this up. We'll look at a catalog page showing the Lenox and the Monterey side by side. They have identical embossing, but their overall shapes are different. And we'll look here. This is Duchess. And this is Bridal, and these have the detachable handles. And that's going to be it. One last thing and we're done. And we have our Lenox and Monterey again with their detachable handles, but there's a small version as well. It's about half the height of the others, and there's no real fancy name for this. It's called a chamberette, and it's the only one that Homer Laughlin made that I know of. Other potteries had chamberettes. I know Taylor Smith & Taylor had one as well, but this is a pretty rare piece. This is not easy to find at all. Combinets are not very common to begin with, and if you do find one, it's probably going to be this one, the Monterey. This was made into the 1920s. So that's all. Next time we will start looking at some more toiletware from the 1800s.